Hi, this video is going to focus on adding and subtracting fractions. We're going to first of all recap how to add and subtract fractions. Then we're going to spend a little time looking at how to find a missing fraction in a calculation. Next, we'll move on to adding fractions to mixed numbers and finally subtracting fractions from mixed numbers. Adding fractions whose denominators are the same is really easy. Remember, we leave the denominator unchanged. 1/4 add 2/4 is going to equal 3 parts of 4, 3/4. 1/5 add 2/5. Remember, the denominator stays unchanged. 1/5 add 2/5, we're just going to add the numerators. 3. Perfect. Let's look at another one. What about 4/5? And we're going to add 3/5. You remember the riddle? The denominators stay unchanged. 4 add 3 is 7/5. Brilliant. But we should notice something. What kind of fraction is 7/5? It's greater than 1 because the numerator is greater than the denominator. It's an improper fraction. We've got to change that now to a mixed number. We change an improper fraction to a mixed number by dividing the numerator by the denominator. How many times does 5 go into 7? Well, we know that. It goes once, but it's got a remainder of 2. So that is 1 whole and 2 parts of 5. Let's look at another one, another adding fraction. 6/8, and let's add 7/8 to that. Well, we remember that the denominator will remain unchanged. So let's just add the numerators. 6 add 7, 13. Bet you notice 13/8. It's an improper fraction. Let's change 13/8 into a mixed number. We'll divide the numerator 13 by 8. How many times does 8 go into 13? Well, we know it only goes in once, but it's got a remainder of 5. 13/8 is a mixed number. It's 1 whole and 5 parts of 8. Before we move on to subtracting fractions, why not give these two a go at home? Pause the video, find the totals, and remember, if it's an improper fraction, always change it to a mixed number. Then see how you get on. Now it's time to look at subtracting fractions. It's pretty straightforward. 3/4, take away 1/4, and it's going to leave 2 parts of 4. So just the same way as when we add fractions, the denominator doesn't change. It remains the same denominator, 4 parts. In this example, we're just subtracting the numerators and the answer is 2 parts of 4. Here we've got 12/15 and we are taking away 4/15. The denominator remains as 15. And now we've just taken away 4 parts from 12. We're left with 8/15. What do you notice? 6/5 is an improper fraction. We've got to change it to a mixed number. How many times does 5 go into 6? Well, it goes in once, and it's got a remainder of 1. That tells us 9/5 subtract 3/5 leaves 1 whole and 1/5. Pause the video and try these two calculations at home now. Remember, if it's an improper fraction, we change it to a mixed number. On you go. Okay, now it's time to recap how to find a missing fraction in an addition or subtraction calculation. Here we've got 4/7 add something equal 9/7. Well, we've got to find the difference, don't we? Here we see the visual representation of 4/7 and 9/7. We just need to find the difference between the two numerator amounts. So 4 add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 parts of 7 will give us 9/7. Okay, here's another one. 3/6 add a missing fraction will give us a total of 8/6. We know that our whole amount, our whole one, will have 6 parts. We just need to compare 3 parts against 8 parts. So we can see 3 add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will make 8 parts. Here's one for you to do at home. Pause the video and find the missing fraction in the addition calculation. Here's another calculation that we need to find the missing fraction. Except this time, it's a subtraction calculation. 10/8 take away a fraction will leave you with 2/8. Again, the denominator stays the same, and it's really only the numerators that we're focusing on. 10 take away what will give you 2. There's 10 parts, and now we just want to be left with 2 parts. We have subtracted 8 parts. Compare these two fractions to find the difference. What fraction has been subtracted from 7/3 to give you a remaining 2/3? Pause the video now and try this at home. So 7 take away 1. 5/3 is the missing fraction from the calculation. Okay, now it's time to look at adding fractions to mixed numbers. Here we've got one. 2 3/4, and we're adding 3/4. Have a little think about how you would do this. Here's the visual representation. When I add mixed numbers and fractions, I really focus on the fraction part. 3/4 add 3/4. Well, we know that that is 6/4. So we can see that that gives us a total so far of 2 wholes and 6/4. Now it's time to change our improper fraction to a mixed number. That is 1 whole and 2/4. Altogether, we now have 3 wholes and 2/4. Let's look at this one. 1 4/5 add 3/5. Let's think about it. There's the visual representation of 1 4/5. So now I'm just going to add 3/5 to the 4/5. Have a look at the two calculations above. Pause the video and try these at home, and then you can press play to see how you get on. For the first one, I see that there's 3 holes, so I've written 3, and I'm adding the 2 fractions. 1/4 add 2/4 gives me 3/4. So altogether, my total is 3 3/4. Let's look at the next one. We've got 2 whole numbers. 1 3/5 add 1 3/5. So there are 2 wholes. Now we're going to add the 2 fraction parts. 3/5 add 3/5. Well, we know that that is going to be 6/5. But we've got an improper fraction there. We've got to change it. We can see that 6/5 is 1 whole and 1/5. So our total is 3 1/5. The last section in this video will look at subtracting fractions from mixed numbers. Here's an example. 2 take away 1/6. What we have to do first is change that whole number into a fraction. We know that we want the denominator to be 6. So there's 1 whole and there's 2 wholes. So as a fraction, 2 wholes is 12/6. So our takeaway sentence is 12/6 take away 1/6. And we can see that that leaves us with 11/6. Here's another one. 3 take away 2/5. What do you have to do first? Can you remember? That's right. We have to show 3 as a fraction. And we want that fraction to be in fifths. So there's a figure that represents 1 whole, 2 wholes, and 3 wholes. So 3 is 15/5. And we want to take away 2 of those fifths. "15/5 take away 2/5 will leave us with 13/5. Now we need to change that back into a mixed number. We can see that it's 2 wholes and 3/5. So 3 subtract 2/5 is equal to 2 3/5. We can do this mathematically without drawing bar models or visual representation. We need to change a whole number 2 into a fraction, and we know that we want the denominator to be thirds. If we multiply the whole number 2 by the number of parts, thirds, we'll get 6. So the fraction is 6/3. So 6/3, take away 1/3, easy peasy. That's going to leave us 5 parts of 3. 5 parts of 3, well, that's equal to 1 and 2 parts of 3. Let's have a look at another one of those. Okay, 3, take away 3/4. Our first job is to change that 3, that whole number, into fractions, and the fraction parts that we want are quarters. If I multiply 4, the number of parts, by 3, I'll end up with 12 parts of 4. 12 parts of 4, take away 3 parts of 4, and I'll have 9 parts of 4 left. And then it's just a matter of changing that into a mixed number. I'm going to work through one more before I give you one or two to try at home. 3, take away 1/2. Our first job is to change that 3 wholes into a fraction, and we want the denominators to be 2. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 is equivalent to 6/2. 6/2, take away 1/2, and that leaves us with 5/2. An improper fraction, so we change it to a mixed number. 2 goes into 5 2 times, with 1 part of 2 left over. Okay, I hope you're ready to have a try yourself now. 3, take away 2/6.